Hello, you're listening to Hibs Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
And James. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Aye. How you getting on, Dave? What you been up to?
Working loads. No playing any balls. Got pumped to everything. So that's it.
Aye.
One thing. And that's it. So I can't come up with excuses and that not to come and see you in podcast. if Hibs are rubbish, I think it's something else.
How you doing, James? What you been up to?
Not a lot, really. Long summer. Just the usual, like everyone else.
Aye. Good stuff. So I got you in person now and have to apologise for last week because we've done the Rangers game. Painstaking to talk about it twice, but we've done the Rangers game with you, and the recording equipment let us down, and
It's a lost masterpiece.
That's what I said, but Stephen took offence to that, took it personal because
He actually sat downstairs.
Aye.
Practically while I spoke to James because he was in some state.
Aye.
But oh well.
But we've won this week, so it's going to be much more positive.
Scored 5 goals.
Aye.
What? Everything's rosy again, is it not?
I know.
Conceded 9 in 2
Right,
games.
we'll get back to that.
I can take the rosy off.
So, we'll fire through a couple of bits and there's nothing major. Porteous and Middleton both being called into Scotland under 21 squad. My question would be, good to see Porteous getting called up, but hopefully back in Hibs team as well as the Scotland under 21 team.
Yes, and as Dave just alluded to, I think we need him. Defence seems a bit leaky, so yeah, very good to have him back.
Yeah, and good to see Middleton getting a call up as well now that he's getting football in minutes.
Well, he's only played 1 game for us, so I'm not taking that as.
And you're not taking any credit for it?
No.
Right,
No.
fair enough.
Everyone seems to have really strong opinions on Middleton. I think I'm the only person that hasn't seen him play. I can't remember him at all from last season.
No, I mean, they only played at the start of the season for Rangers, so aye. And then we're going to talk about the Morton game. We got through in the cup, and the cup draw was done last night, and we've got Kilmarnock in the cup. So nice Killie away day. You look forward to a Killie pie?
Aye, the day Empire Biscuits now too. I've been well informed.
Now we have got a high standard for Empire biscuits because we have an Empire biscuit before the podcast, and we get it for the Scotland around the corner, and they are banging.
Phenomenal.
Aye. So you're saying we need to
2 for £1.40.
what around the corner? Aye. Shows how often I buy them.
I always get 4.
But yeah, so Empire biscuits. We'll have to check them out as well as the Killie pies, and hopefully a good game of football. But quite confident of getting through to the semi-finals. Kilmarnock.
Ish.
Still a bit of an unknown Kilmarnock, okay?
They are, and if they've got anything from last season, they'll still be quite hard to play against. But I mean, it's quarterfinals. It's going to be a hard draw. So we're not going to get an easy draw like Hearts.
No.
Honking pitch.
Aye.
Anything can happen.
Aye, we'll wait and see. And then finally, just a silly bit of news. I'm not happy.
How about?
So there was the Rear of the Year 2019.
And you didn't win.
Well, my arse is always hidden, so that's why I wasn't a contender. But it went to somebody Hibs related, and that's great. It went to Andy Murray. John McGinn must be fuming.
Yeah, he must have been on the short list.
He must have been. I mean, that shows how much research I've done for it. But John McGinn must be fuming.
He
He's been
does,
missed
does
it.
have a fine booty, does John McGinn.
Aye. Anyway.
I still think about it.
I could
quite a
rant
lot.
about it for ages.
You ever just think about John McGinn's bum?
Occasionally, yeah.
Yes, I
It's more John McGinn's football ability I think of, but aye,
right.
his rear does come into it every now and then,
Yeah.
especially when he was holding off folk and stuff. It was brilliant.
Aye, rolling them with that backside of his.
Aye. Brilliant stuff. Anyway, so we'll crack on with the Morton game, and then we're going to look ahead to St Johnstone game. We've got questions from people, but we've also got a new addition today. You want to make this a weekly thing, so we'll see how it goes today. So folk that have seen Room 101, we'll explain it when we get to it, but we're going to do Room 1902. We'll explain why later on and stuff. So we'll get to that later on. But Morton game quickly. We'll just run through the goals because I mean there's 8 goals, so we'll kind of run through the goals and then there's some kind of talking points we'll take away from them. We don't have many stats today. Dave's kind of having his withdrawal symptoms because Y-Scout don't do their stats for the League Cup games.
It's lazy. Like you're defending.
Good
So-
segue.
Yes.
So Scott Allen opened the scoring before we started our crazy defending. His 4th goal of the season and an assist from Middleton. Is it great to see us getting goals from midfield?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of thing that if Alan adds to his game regularly, will properly take him up a little. I know, I mean, he's pretty good as it is.
Yeah.
But adding goals consistently, he'll be some player. I mean, he is some player, but he'll be even more of some player. It's very encouraging, particularly as our striking options are limited.
Aye, only the 3 at the moment. And Vela, got another goal from midfield. He smashed in the second. It was good to see Hibs not giving up on it and doing that high press in the corner.
Aye, and the ball across for Horgan, it was merely like a pass and a rash.
Very, very composed, took his time, found his man. Aye.
Kenny Vela, right place, right time.
And then Rob McHugh pulled one back. He was highlighted as a danger man by Marcel and Stuart in the Morton preview article that we done. If you've not checked out our preview articles, they're coming up every Friday or just before every match day. So the hibstalk.com, might as well do a cheap wee plug there.
So he's a wee bit of a bogeyman for us, isn't he?
Aye,
Bob McHugh.
He likes the odd goal against us, and he was a real nuisance throughout the whole 120 minutes. But aye, got his goal. I mean, the winger got past Stevenson too easily, and then Jackson beaten too easily for the goal. Should be doing better.
I'll let Stevenson off, given he's obviously going to be behind everyone, fitness, sharpness, and just because he's Stevenson as well, he gets that for free.
Well, he got that one for free. Does he get this one for free? An own goal?
Well, they got it for free, but we've just sat and watched the highlights again, and what was going on? There's about 4 mistakes in the one move.
Jackson, Hanlon and Gray all get dragged over to the right back position. And there's all that space in the middle, and then ball comes in. If there's a better ball that comes to Boyton near post, and he's got all the time in the world, goes to the back post, and should Stevenson try and clear it with his right leg?
I'm right footed, so I would have hit that straight away with my right. Whether he's been caught flat footed because he's not expecting it to come, because he what he can't expect is what's just unravelled in front of him to actually happen, because it was horrible defending. So you've got to expect your teammates to be doing better than that. So that's maybe what caught him out, and then the ball was just kind of hit off him. Yeah.
So 2-2 half time. Completely different team talk, I'd imagine, from what would have been 2-0 up. I have to say, I think we're actually playing some really nice stuff at 2-0, and we looked confident of scoring more, and just 2 really sort of shaky moments, and Morton are back in the game. So kind of, but we came back in the second half and got ourselves back in front. Canberra this time, what was the keeper doing? Came charging out. What was he doing?
Don't know. Howler. Yeah, absolutely need to come out too.
Good keeper as well. Danny Rogers. Is that right, Danny Rogers?
Yeah.
Aye. On loan for Aberdeen. Good signing for Morton, but came rushing out. And then game petered out. Looked like we were going to kind of see it out into the 90th minute. I didn't even realise this. There was a thing for one of the guys' kids' football teams. It was like put £2 on, pick the results, and he didn't tell me until the next day that Hibs were the only ones to let me down. So until that 91st minute, I was going to win £125. I didn't even know I was in line for. And
never bet on Hibs.
They were on the slip. And I put Hibs to win, and Whittaker's own goal has let me down.
What a finish by the...
What a finish of Whittaker. Just smashed it. Like, the ball's coming across. If he just takes a step back, it goes out for a throw-in. Instead, Whittaker tries to swing a leg at it and rockets it into the net.
So I'm being pretty quiet here because I recently made a return to Elevens and scored an own goal after about 15 minutes to make it 2-2.
How good an own goal was it?
It was actually quite a good own goal. Ball literally went the other way off my head than I intended. Proper 50 pence pieces.
You look like you meant it.
So I'm not saying too much about Stevenson or Whittaker.
So that was 3-3 in extra time. 2 goals, Flo and Doidge. We'll just quickly on the Flo's goal. Hopkin got sent off for moaning about being a free kick and the build up. Jinky's got a point, or do you think Vela won the ball?
Yeah, but they were at it. They were just as heavy in challenges as we were.
I think him moaning about a team being physical is a bit rich.
But I do think it probably was a foul, but we got away with one. And then that ball for Scott Allen.
What a ball! There's a few passes he's picking up like that, and now it's just great to have him back. I
Some,
really missed
some
that.
finish with flow too.
Really well taken, really calm.
See when he's through 1-on-1.
Yeah.
He's like clinical as anything. Like, and we'll struggle to replace that if he does go.
We'll come back to that in a second. And then Doige, great goal for Doige to kind of see it out. 5-3. Mortimer pressing, and we've managed to grab a fifth one. So, we'll just jump onto Flo now. Then Flo has been linked with Basel. Do you think it's a bit unfair that people have sort of said, "Oh, it was a good performance from Flo," but that's only because there was Basel scouts in the stand?
No, because that's what I thought. Not because I don't like him, but just because he does have a bit of that about him. That kind of, spends half an hour doing his hair before he comes out for the game. Everybody look at me. The guys I sit with, we all think he's very like Cristiano Ronaldo, and not in the way he plays, obviously, but the way his stature, the way he looks, and the way everything's kind of about him. So, nah, I don't think it's that unkind.
Fair enough. Dave, a bit harsh, or do you think?
There would be an element to it, but he did put in just as much effort as he puts in. He just more came off for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that Scott Allen and him were on the same pitch for that length of time, and he's getting chances and that, he'll take them.
And focusing just this performance, I mean, that's 4 goals in 3 starts. Okay, 2 of them were wrongly ruled out by the linesmen, but we're counting them.
The difference with this game is, though, he was involved a lot more, and he done a couple of things that we noticed when we watched back the game, that on the line for one of the goals, we got away with it. He plays the ball. Was it Velas? Like, he tries to do like a flick in the wing anyway.
Oh, yeah,
he wins
yeah.
it back though. He perseveres, wins it back, and then we end up getting a goal at it.
But he always does those fancy flicks.
I know, but
Right,
it wasn't necessary. It was just play it up the line.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he was maybe trying a wee bit more, but
I don't know.
Well, there's maybe an element of him just playing against a poorer team as well. He's a very good player. Like, I really rate him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got loads of attributes. I can totally see why teams at higher level than us would be looking at him.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sometimes his flicks and stuff don't come off, but he's brilliant at them, and when they do come off, they're a great way to sort of unlock defences.
It's maybe not even try to impress Basel. It's maybe try to say Heckenbottom, why am I not starting every week up top?
Well, he maybe just got a wee confidence boost fit.
No, exactly.
Getting linked to a move to the biggest club in your home country.
We need that anyway. We need a bit of swagger up front, somebody doing stuff, and like.
Yeah, I don't mind my strikers being a bit arrogant.
No, that at all.
And for a young guy from Switzerland, that must be a dream move if that was to come to something. The top club in your country. I mean, I don't know who he supports, but I mean, I wouldn't really want to go. I wouldn't really want to go to Celtic or Rangers, but it would be flattering to be linked with them if I was a player.
Yeah, no, totally.
Aye. So
they've also got an amazing track record of developing players and selling them on to the proper big clubs in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know if he's that good.
Ah,
but
yes.
in his head, that's what you'd be thinking. You're thinking, I could go to Basel if I do well there.
Everton's number 1 striker in a couple of years' time. Aye.
Well, Mo Salah played for Basel.
Aye. So there's a few big players played there, so great club. So it'd definitely be a good move for him. That can answer my next question. Would Hibs struggle with the time we've got left in the transfer window to get replacement in?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
It would be real bad old days scratching around last minute. I'd be a lot more comfortable if Mark McNulty was still sitting in limbo.
Aye.
Because you'd think, well, that's the
move.
move.
That's the replacement. Yeah.
But the thing is, I think we need one now. Wayflow still there.
So you think we could end up looking for 2?
We need 2, aye.
Or we need 2. Whether we look for 2 or not, it's a different matter. I mean, there's what? So it's the 19th today, so there's just under 2 weeks left in the transfer window. Would Hibs end up going into the loan market, or do you think they'd spend the money?
Well, I think they would need to spend the money, or there'd be quite a lot of pressure for fans, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We've just got 2 million in. Like, whatever money we're getting from McGinn, the new owner and that, and then we sell I say it goes for 2 million. I'm not even sure if we would go for that, but I think we would need to spend it.
Right.
But and I say I wouldn't want it rushed though.
Could you see Hibs spending it?
I think they'd have to. Yeah. If we get 2 million in for Canberra on top of the fairly good financial situation we're in at the moment, fair enough, we're not going to buy a £2 million player because we couldn't pay a £2 million player's wages, but I think they would need to go out and be, show serious intent, and if that means paying a couple $100,000 over the odds for someone, then we would just have to do it.
I agree.
So you wouldn't be happy if that Hornby or something from Everton turned up on loan?
Nope. I'd actually be raging. I wouldn't mind Hornby and signing a player, because I think we need, like I say, I think we need two.
Right.
But I wouldn't mind a loan and a signing. But if Canberra goes, signing.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I have to say, I think Hibs have been quite, the fact that as soon as Boyle injured, it was like the next day, it was like, right, here's a list of 15 wingers. They're already, there seems to be that the recruitment team are planning for lots of eventualities. The No-Flow's got 2 years left in his deal. Now's probably the best time to sell him from that point of view, if he's not going to sign a new deal. Because you don't want to get in the situation next summer, which we're like for McGinn, where you have to sell yourself short because you've only got 1 year left on your deal. So, I think Hibs' recruitment team would be quite organised and have a list of names ready to go, especially with interest linked and stuff. So, but I'll have to see whether that's a permanent one or a loan. Other things skimming at the game, good performance from Fraser Murray when he came on.
Aye, done alright. He hit the post in that where Hida or the keeper just get it before it hit the post.
I think keeper got touched at.
Yeah, it was one of them. But he did get shoved off the ball quite easy at one point, and I thought his tracking back was quite lazy at that exact point. That annoyed me a wee bit because I'm like, come on, pal, you've not exactly been on the park for ages. You shouldn't be worst. And that's what I'm wanting, like this high press pattern, and we're losing the ball and no straight down the person's throat. Just annoys me.
And then final bit, I've got Slivka came in for the suspended Stevie Malin. Slivka's been getting quite a lot of praise. He got 2 assists, both from open play. Malin's got a lot of assists in the past, but a lot of them have came from free kicks or corners. So good to see 2 assists from open play, and Slivka's got a bit more bite about him. A lot of folk happy to see him in the team. Next game, would you go for Slivka over Malin? Or would you want to see Malin return?
No, I mean, I quite like Malin, but I think the whole point of having competition in the squad is that if someone performs well, they keep their space. So yeah, I think Slivka's earned a start.
Yeah. Dave, what would you go for?
Flop a coin. As long as it sounds daft, but as long as Scott Allen's there, then. But we are quite weak, timid, I think, in the middle, and I don't think Malin or Slivka is exactly going to frighten anybody.
Nah,
when
totally
it comes to dig. So
we've never replaced McGinn's, and obviously we've never replaced McGinn because he's brilliant, but we've never replaced McGinn's energy and aggression in midfield. No. And I kind of thought Marvin Bartley could have done it last season, then he got injured, and now we don't even have him. Milligan kind of did it, he was a bit of a dirty so-and-so, but...
And they're 2 of the names, which kind of leads us on nicely up my next bit, that have been talked about a lot on social media. Dave, you mentioned it earlier, we've conceded 9 goals in 2 games, so I guess the question is, why have we conceded 9 goals in 2 games? Is it due to injuries, players coming back from injuries, not being match fit, but having to play because of injuries and things like that? Is it the tactics from the manager, or is it the lack of protection from the midfield now that we don't have the likes of Slivka? We don't have the likes of Bartley and Milligan. So, or is it something else? So there you two can take your sides on that.
It's not tactics, because no manager tells his team to go out and defend badly. So I don't accept it as tactics, because it's not like we're doing anything radical. We're playing a back 4, so tactically I think it's fine. I think a lot of it's been individual errors, which is a bit concerning, because previously very reliable players, Marciano was a bit dodgy for a couple of the goals against Rangers. McGregor and Hanlon have been absolute rocks. So I think a lot of it's individual errors, and I wonder now, my concern is that it becomes a bit of a mental thing, and we start panicking a wee bit and going back to that old Hibs habit of conceding goals in chunks. We used to we wouldn't concede 1, we would concede 2 or 3 and within 5-10 minutes, which generally a sign of panic and lack of confidence. So that's what worries me.
It was complete panic stations against Morton. Morton at home can't clear the ball. Like, you seen Maxwell being like going Campbell, Jackson lying in the ground trying to swing his leg at it. What was going on? I thought Hanlon had a nightmare. But I think everything that you mentioned, it's a bit of everything. The only I would agree the tactics thing, apart from one thing, Heckingbottom cost us 4 goals at Ibrox with his sub. I think that would say, like, taking a man away from midfield in that game, just that was it. Rangers on you go.
And
line up, shoot.
And in that game, Malin, whether hit by choice or instruction, was getting quite forward a lot, and we're more playing that sort of V midfield of the sitting midfielder, the 2 central midfielders, and then 2 wingers. At Ibrox, should we have been playing 2 sitting midfielders?
Yeah, we should never. But we also should never have got rid of Bartley and Milligan in the same window. Somebody raised that point on Twitter earlier on the day, saying it was criminal, and I completely agree. Milligan could have easily played for us this season, in my opinion. I think Milligan's a good player. Thought he'd done really well for us, and I think did we do the dirty on him? I think we done the dirty on him a wee bit. We kind of used him and then went, nah, see you later, and we've no replaced that.
And we've signed Vela to play that. I know it's still early doors, but from what I saw online, I expected us to be signing a box-to-box midfielder that could trip him with goals like he did at the weekend. So then he comes in and he's playing that defensive midfielder role. And first game, I think it was Arbroath at home, done it quite well. Looked very composed on the ball, nice touches, got himself into good space and stuff. But it's Arbroath at home. They weren't playing a high pressing game. First experience he gets to the high press is the Rangers game, and he gets caught off the ball a couple of times. Now, I'm just sort of saying, is he? It's still early doors for him. I'm no ruling him out as a signing. Is he being played in the right position? Is that his strength to play there, or is that something he's having to learn?
I've certainly not seen physicality from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he as a sort of deep line playmaker, but as someone who's going to boss a midfield, put his foot in if he needs to, take a yellow card for the team, I don't know. I've not seen it yet. I'm not writing the guy off. But
so does that mean that if we've got Allen, Malin, and Vela, we're a bit lightweight for protecting the defence?
Yes, 100%.
Right. So it is a bit of everything.
To me, he plays the defensive midfielder role in the way that McGeoch played it, but less creative than McGeoch. So he gets the ball, that takes it off the defence, which I love because
he's always looking for the ball. I really like that.
And then he then obviously distributes it, and that's fine, fair enough. But he's no. What I've seen so far, he's just not got that same aggression or.
McGeoch had McGinn beside him to do that for him. McGinn was our kind of midfield enforcer. Yeah. And we've just never. I do feel we lack that. You need that in Scotland, I think.
So we're still needing the number 6 as well as a striker in the transfer window.
I think it's worrying that we think that we're all right.
I'm less worried about a striker than I think another like wide attacker, another sort of forward. Because I think if we were only really going to be playing with one up front or one main striker, then Flo and Doidge, assuming Flo stays. But even before Boyle got injured, I felt we were, it's still only Horgan and Boyle, and
now Middleton.
And Horgan.
And Newell looks more of a central player playing out wide than a winger. So.
And plus, both of them are wingers, whereas I still quite like, like a wide forward who's going to get in and chip in a few goals. Maybe more like a Niall McGinn type or a. It's
strange that they had
Walker
that Moon on trial. Who was that? He was attacker that really played in the wing, could chip in with goals. And okay, it didn't work out, but it was like we didn't keep on looking for that position, which is a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, I do find our transfer dealings a wee bit odd this summer, and I'm slightly alarmed that we were finished our business so early. I mean, I don't know how much I believe that.
I mean, that's a good thing to say, because if you're going to clubs, it's sort of like, well, we would like your player, but as we've said, we're done, but we're not really, so we really need this player, but we're just trying to get a better deal.
Yeah.
So it could be a tactic.
Yeah, and I fully accept it probably is. But yeah, it's if we are finished, then I do, I think we'll be okay, but I do worry we're a bit like that.
That's my problem, being okay. We've just been bought over by a new owner. We've had a record point season, we've had European football, and we're going, let's be okay. Step backwards.
I mean, I've said this last week about Ron Gordon. You're not going to buy a new business and then be like, here's loads of money. You're gonna.
I'm not wanting that, but
you're gonna find out about the company and about the way Scottish football works and Hibs are working, rather than just throwing money at it. So it's going to take time before he puts any money in.
Right, but as a business, you want to try and get your supporters in, record season tickets, and then you want to keep them. Football on the park needs to be better then.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll take a quick break there to kind of change the camera over, and then we'll start with your room 1902. And if you haven't already, folks, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. The reason I'm saying this, you don't want to miss next week's podcast. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. It's not Ivan Spurl. We're on the next week's podcast with Mickey Weir. We're very excited to get doing a podcast with Mickey. This is something we're going to be doing a lot more of this season. We've got some other ex-players kind of lined up and things like that. So very excited to be doing an interview with them and having them on the podcast to chat just about general Hibs and things that are going on in Hibs just now as well. So we look forward to that next week, and let's get on with the rest of the show. You've been nagging at me to ages to start this segment, and I'm sorry I've not listened to you sooner, but so for anybody that's seen Room 101, what was Room 101? You can describe it.
Obviously it's a TV show, and Frank Skinner hosts it, so you can be Frank.
Right, I'm Frank.
And folk come on and they say that things that they want put into Room 101, and Room 101's basically a place that things go to die. Right, they never come back out. That's them away forever. Anything that annoys you. So the Hibs related, I don't know how copyright works. So the Room 1902, because that's where the hoodoo went to die. So that's away, locked away forever. It can never come back to bite us again. So that's
unless we go another 114 years.
Shut up. I'll be dead. So we can put in other stuff that we want in there along with the hoodoo. So the first
thing in there is the Scottish Cup hoodoo. That's gone. That's gone in Room 1902.
Yep.
Okay, so that's locked in. So so what else are we going to put in Room 1902? So the two of you can argue your cases, and I'll pick one of them to go in.
Right. And I'll go first.
Right, you can go first. Dave, what are you want? what are you proposing to go in?
Mate, I've been telling him to do this for ages. This segment.
What are you proposing to go in Room 1902?
Seagulls. Because they're a absolute pain in the arse at Easter Road. That Arbroath game. Well, I wasn't at the game before that, but you saying the lassie 2 rows behind got shot on.
Yeah, the row behind.
Row behind. Aye. That's even worse. And then
it was funny.
Aye, so we were at the Arbroath. It was funny.
It's always funny if it's not you.
Aye.
I know his brother. Our brother listens to the podcast, and he was giving her it tight. It was absolutely brilliant.
Aye.
She went to the toilet to clean up, and she was coming back, and it was a quiet game. There wasn't many folk there, and he shouted, "Here, there's that lassie that got shot on by a bird." Everybody looked.
That's brilliant. But what James just said, it's no brilliant if it's you. So you tell me that happened, and I was absolutely fine with the seagulls flying above me until you tell me they were shitting on folk. And you kind of start looking about your feet and the chairs and that, and they're all covered in it, and you're like, oh no, I'm a target. So we were trying to make as much noise as we could. Like Arbroath were getting a throw in, and we were like, come on boys, like clap them and that, try to get them to stay away from you. But they're an absolute pain in the arse, and I done a wee bit of research, right? They're not just a pain in the arse at Easter Road, they're spreading. Down in Cornwall, they're apparently a nightmare.
Right.
This is in an article, I searched it. This is in an article that one person a week is going to their GP with an injury for a seagull. I swear.
Shite related? Or?
No shite related. They're swooping down, they're getting aggressive. They eat rabbits too.
Yeah, you sent a video.
So there's a video on Twitter, type in seagull eating a rabbit into Twitter, and it comes up, and it's horrifying.
Was there no something about did Queen of the South not threaten their fans with being thrown out if they fed the seagulls or something?
Aye, they did, and we should do the same. They sometimes get the attendance up though. But there was more seagulls at that Arbroath game.
Is that where the attendances are coming from?
Aye, that's where you're right. In fact, Easter Road sold out the famous 5 stand sold out, counting the seagulls at the back. But nah, they should go in and they should just be killed off. There was a poll as well, and 44% of the people wanted them killed.
You're going to get your stats in there somehow.
And 36% said no. So that only adds up to 80. So 20 were seagulls. or like I don't know what the other 20. The other 20 were undecided.
Well, there must be a lot of Brighton and Hove Albion fans who are not happy with your rant against
I
Seagulls.
like Brighton either. They shouldn't have sacked Chris Hughton. They deserve. Get rid of them too. Put the two of them in room
Right.
from 1902 together.
Okay, so you're going for Seagulls. So I mean, do you not think they bring a bit of, you know?
Just don't argue. Don't
no,
don't
I've
try
read
the
it.
Frank Skinner role when we're talking about Seagulls. Good effort. There's nothing positive about them. What did they do? See if you killed them, what would they?
So do you not?
There'd be a lot of half-eaten suppers lying about the gutter on
Aye.
a Sunday morning.
I know, but
They help tidy up all the McDonald's and things like
they
that.
also
that are lying
litter though,
about.
because they nick your crisp packet off you or your chips off you, then they drop the empty poke. They put it in the bin.
You need to train them then.
No, fuck them.
I mean, could we not do a thing, you know, and make it, you know, part of, because there's so many of them, make it part of the club? I mean, you've got like Crystal Palace with their eagle, and
No.
you know, Brighton that you mentioned have kind of
They're only
incorporated
there
it.
when it's deed, so we need to just get more fans on Easter Road.
Less League Cup games.
Less League Cup games, aye. Well, Heckingbottom was trying that
Well,
anyway.
that's
Looks that weekend.
that's them done for this season because we're away, and then if we get through, it'll be Hampden. So
Right.
aye. Okay, so that's what you're arguing for Seagulls. What are you putting up against Seagulls?
I'm still 50-50, but
Right.
I'm gonna go for huge bugbear of mine, right? And I've had this rant many times in the pub. When a team wins a trophy, everybody's celebrating. It's all about the fans, you know. Fans are singing anthems, celebrating the players, and then all of a sudden, all these bloody dolly birds appear on the pitch with their high heels and their stupid scarves and their 2-year-old running about with strips with Daddy number 7 on the back. What the fuck is that about?
The family coming on.
No, but it's not about the family, right? You don't get to take your family to work if you do something well at work.
They do-
Winning trophies is for the fans, right? They can go and have a family party back in the club later, right? They don't get to steal the limelight and the thunder of the fans at that moment. Nah, I'm not having it.
What about at the end of the season when they come? When they're going
That's
round
okay.
Right, that's all right.
Yeah,
Aye.
that's all right. Because that's what that's for.
Right, but them getting involved in the,
Yeah, post cup final or post league winning celebrations
you're not for it.
really does my nutting. I don't know why. I mean, I think it's because it shows how much everything's all about the players. It's like, oh, look at us, and then these wives come. I mean, what have they done? They've done nothing to do with this success.
They've heard, oh, I had a really bad game, and then they've heard all their gripes, and then you know they've kind of been able to unwind so that then they can go
No,
again.
I hate it. It's like everything's about the players and the players' families and them taking selfies and videos so that they can say they did it, rather than celebrating with the fans and making it an amazing occasion for the fans.
Dave, any thoughts on that?
Seagulls definitely needs to go in there. That's my thoughts on that. That's my competition this week then. Seagulls, you've got it.
But thoughts on that one specific? Any thoughts on it?
No, I can see his point to an extent. I think they're bringing their wains in that one. They're probably just proud. They want to share their achievements.
So go
My-
home and share them.
my
Go
g-
home and share them.
My girlfriend's probably not want to come up Livy Centre. And I'm like, here, we've done Target for the day. It was brilliant. Help me shut the shutter. And we're shutting the shutter together, both holding the key, turning it really at the same time. That's probably not the same thing. But if I was a football player and I had a wee Wayne, I'd want him with Dave on the back, his tap. No, my surname. Well, if it's been my surname, wouldn't it? But anyway, I would have Dave in the back of his tap. I'd be like, oh, when you come here on my
You
shoulders
could,
and
you
that
could
going
be
round.
Big Dave and he could be
Wee Dave. Aye. I would probably would involve my Wayne.
See, the thing is, like, I mean, I don't see the difference between a lap of honour at the end of the season and a cup winning thing.
Well, sacked laugh on at the end of the season then.
and at the
I'm
end,
happy with that being sacked.
because for me, when I seen Scott Allen walking around with his wee laddie in a Hibs top, I was like, he's coming back. There was that moment I went,
But he didn't.
he did. He wanted to come back, and we did get him back eventually. I was like, one way or another, he's coming back. And for that reason alone, because that moment made me realise Scott Allen was coming back and got me excited and left me with hope until he eventually did re-sign, I'm going to go for Seagulls. And also because they are paying theirs. Although, saying that, it was so much, it's so funny. As soon as I told you that, your concentration for the game went completely away and your concentration was all on the seagulls,
I know.
and it was so funny to watch you.
They were everywhere. I was genuinely scared. And then see at half time, I went inside for the
Just to
entirety
get
of
away
half
from them.
time.
It was funny.
No.
I mean, I did get some enjoyment of it, but I will admit they were a pain. So yeah,
I think it's just as well you didn't go to football in the days of mass fan violence, Dave. I think you might have struggled. Like,
Probably.
fucking Hamden lobbing
as long
empty
as-
beer bottles in your head, and you worried about a bloody seagull.
As long as fans weren't shiting on you, then
I think they used to piss on each other.
Did they?
To be fair,
you get that Ibrox.
Aye.
You still get
Fill
that
the cup and
Ibrox.
then
Oh,
fill the
aye.
cup. So aye. So seagulls are going to be the first thing to join the cup hoodoo in room 1902. So sorry, James.
I'm pretty annoyed about that. Actually.
Aye.
I have to admit though, when I had this rant in the pub, I did get a lot of blank stares. Nobody seems to care enough about it.
That's the point in it though.
Aye.
People
Different
see if you
opinions.
feel passionate about it, get it in room 1902.
Mm-hmm.
But seagulls and the Scottish Cup are the first things in it.
Well, the Scottish Cup hoodoo, not the Scottish Cup.
Can
I
I,
wanna
throw,
keep
can
the
I throw
Scottish Cup.
one other thing in there just for future?
Go for it.
Premeditated, rehearsed goal celebrations.
Yeah.
That needs sacked.
Aye.
The thought that players who, can't use their left foot properly are spending their time at training working out little girly dance moves to do when they score at the corner flag.
So this was your second one that you were
This was my
50-50.
second
You
one,
should have went with that.
Aye,
That would have
better?
stood a
That'd be
chance.
better.
that might have had a chance, but
But-
you went for the other one.
Right.
So
Too
the
late. The seagulls are
Shot my
already in. Doors locked.
And you away home getting the family for your victory celebration.
Aye.
Honey, we done it. We got seagulls in. Right, get the Wayne's top on. Although they have kids, but
That'd be a problem.
You
I
can
would
borrow
need
mine.
to, I was going to say I need to take one for somewhere and I don't think you're allowed to do that. No.
okay, right. So, bit of fun there. Let's get on to the St Johnstone game then. Back to league business. So, talking about St Johnstone, their manager has been talking to the press saying he wants their two wingers to score at least a dozen goals. Now, I don't know if he meant each or between the two of them, but talking about O'Halloran and Kennedy wanting them to chip in with a dozen goals this season. Is this a sign that St Johnstone aren't getting the forwards that they've been after? They've been linked with Jason Cummins, Stevie May, both on loan, both have not happened. Is this a sign that they're struggling to get the forwards, so that's why he's now asking the wingers to chip in with goals?
I think it's just a sign that they're struggling, full stop. But aye, I think, but to be fair, O'Halloran was quite a good player. Like, he used to score goals quite regularly.
Yeah.
And Matt Kennedy was quite good. But I hope he doesn't even a dozen goals each. I think that's maybe a bit optimistic.
Don't know. Double figures, why not?
Stupid I ain't come out with. Like, obviously you want your wingers to score goals.
Aye,
What are you
well-
coming in the press is that for? I want Middleton to score and Horgan to score. What are you setting them a target of 12 for? Put Mayor on it. Right.
And what happens if they get to 12? They just,
Aye,
is that
just-
it? Like,
I'm
job
done.
Season finished.
Aye.
I don't
It
know.
seems a bit
To
of a
come out
weird
with.
thing to say.
Yeah. And so far this season, I mean, they started horrendous. Really bad League Cup campaign, got knocked out in the group stages. 7-0 defeat away to Celtic, and then looked like it was getting worse. 2-0 down to Livingston at home at half time, but came out second half. Good second half performance. Pull it back to 2-2. And because they've been out of the cup, they've had the extra week off. Do you think that'll help them ahead of Easter? They've had an extra week to prepare.
See if that's affecting us.
Nah.
Then we've got bigger problems.
Right.
No bother with
Maybe
that.
it does suggest that Marvin Bartley is not the answer to our defensive problems in midfield. Then
We're all fresh. We've just had summer off.
And there's a
Didn't
few
need
players
weeks
got
off
rested.
now. Aye. If anything, we probably got an advantage over St Johnstone that we had a game.
Right.
You want to get minutes in your legs at this point of the season, like you
Still
said.
early in the
Aye.
season, yeah. Aye.
Aye.
So, looking at the Hibs team then, what changes would you make? Would you bring back Marciano? Was Maxwell getting a chance to be the number one, or was that a cup game, do you think? What do you think?
Rocky back in.
aye, Rocky back in. Maxwell just got a game because it was cup.
Right.
think.
Gray and Stevenson, I mean, Gray never lasted the 90 minutes. Whittaker coming on. Whittaker costing me that money. Stevenson also playing 120 minutes, first game back, which was nuts. Saying he looked a bit off the ball though. I mean, another week of training, do you think he'll be
I
alright?
thought he was
Would you maybe look at Mackie or that?
second best to pretty much everything. No, I would play him because he just needed the
Aye, he'll just need games,
minutes in
aye.
his legs.
Match sharpness. Aye.
And Gray or Whittaker at right back?
The same. I'd probably play Gray because I want him to be the right back. So he just needs to keep going. There's no point not playing him for a couple of games. Otherwise, he'll go back.
If Gray's fit, but actually, Whittaker had a really good game against him, I thought.
Not against Rangers though.
No, but then nobody did it.
No,
so I've
true.
just kind of expunged that from my memory.
Aye, he really struggled up against Jordan Jones. Which there's a good
Suspect a
article
few
actually
players,
on
mate.
I think it was footballscotland.com or something, which kind of looked at it and Jordan Jones against Whittaker throughout the game, and also how there's a sign that it was going to happen because Jordan Jones last season up against Whittaker had a lot of joy against him. So I should actually
Whittaker's never been, he's never been the best defender one-on-one. He goes to ground off easy and he sort of sells himself. So and the fact he's now older.
And I mean, watching it back, we really noticed how far up Gray was getting, and really he was really supporting the winger in Horgan and allowing us to create more chances from that side. So
it sounds so cliche, but he does pull us forward.
Yeah,
he does. When he's on the pitch, we feel a bit more direct. Like he just gives us an option that obviously Whittaker doesn't give, but I think Whittaker gets unfair praise too. So.
And it gives the defence an extra man to mark when he's that far forward and gets Horgan more space. So we'll go for Gray in that right back. And we mentioned this earlier. Are we going for Slivka or Malin in the defensive mid or centre mid position beside Vela?
I probably would play Malin.
Malin. Who'd you go for?
I'd say Slivka. You've got the jersey, you do well, you get to keep it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd go for Slivka as well. Score predictions for the game?
It's the bogey team.
They are.
I think 1-0 to us.
Right.
Maybe sneak it.
We'll win 2-0.
2-0. Good man. I like that. Okay.
I don't know why we've conceded 9 in the last 2 games and we've both went clean sheet. Clueless. Turn this off.
Eternal optimism of the football fans.
Turn this off. We know absolutely nothing.
It's because it's St Johnstone and they can't score it for shit.
Didn't struggling to say that.
So we asked you guys for questions. We left it a bit late, so we know we've got as many this week. However, Sean Brown got a debate started. If Hibs were a biscuit, which one would they be, and what would you do for the rest of the league? So we kind of retweeted that. So, any off the top of your head you can think of?
Hearts would be a digestive.
Why would they be just digestive?
Quite boring, but quite functional. It fills a hole. But
right.
Nobody craves a digestive. You eat it if it's there.
Yeah, but if it's a dark chocolate digestive, then I crave that. Oh, I love that.
That's Hartsman Naismith in the
See, if we're going to start talking about biscuits, this is dangerous. I do like my biscuits. I said Hibs would be a penguin because there's always jokes at the back.
It should be something like fancy, like a Viennese whirl or something. Like can be quite good, but if you dip it in your tea, it's just going to fall.
Talking about dipping in tea, I was thinking Hamilton are a hobnob because if your cup of tea is out the relegation zone, they're always going into it, but they somehow survive. You expect them to fall away, but they keep on staying there. Every season they're in the cup of tea, but you pull them up and they're still there. So I'd go for Hamilton as hobnob. Somebody had said a Jaffa cake, soft at the bottom, spongy in the middle, and tangy up top.
This is Hibs.
I quite like the tangy up top.
To get the rest of them because we retweeted it. The Livy podcast had also said they were hobnobs. Their reason being probably a hobnob, right? Rough looking and exterior. Not everybody's cup of tea, but holds together well. So.
Fair shout.
So that was the Talk Livy podcast describing Livingston. John Cameron has said a mint club can be relegated to the back of the cupboard for eons, but get them back in a cup winner.
Get them back in a cup, call them a winner. No.
Alright. That is that. I'm just really bad at reading. This season, this is Edinburgh Hybees saying this season we're a rich tea. And Ross McKenzie has also said rich tea falls apart when wet. In terms of other questions on Twitter, Ryan, I'm not going to read out his Twitter handle, has put, do you think we could convince Budge and Dempster to come to a loser keeps their manager type of deal for September 22nd? The football's going to be shite, so we might as well make it interesting.
Yeah, I do worry a wee bit about that game at the moment.
And then on Facebook, let's have a look here. We had Andy McAllister asking, does Ron Gordon fully grasp the importance of having a winning team on the park, or is he just interested in the community and the infrastructure?
Who's Ron Gordon? Oh, the owner. Where is he?
But what a pointless question. Like, how can anyone answer that?
Well, like you say, and what Hibs have said is he's come in.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to just radically change everything, because that's what owners do at football clubs, and it always goes pear-shaped. Just see what happens, and then see. Aye.
It's going to be long term rather than short term.
Exactly.
Football fans are impatient.
Like,
I'm impatient. I've
But
already said.
Hibs
as well.
fans seem to be being more impatient at the moment.
Aye.
Although maybe it's just all football fans.
All
but-
football fans, Celtic
It's
fans,
ridiculous.
Celtic fans are now going off their nut.
Aye,
They've
I
won
know, that is
8 in a
great.
row, treble, top of the league, still in Europe, still in all the cups. Turmoil.
Their display was quite clever though. Did you see it?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was catchy.
Aye.
What did it say?
It was in the 10 in a row tune, but it was the board are risking or gambling 10 in a row, and it was because it was quite clever. I'll show you later. I can't remember all of it. I don't want to do it injustice, so I'll show you after. Check it out if you haven't. It was quite good for the what are they called, the Green Brigade.
The Green Brigade, aye.
That's it. Martin Metcalf has said, I fully appreciate Hibs have had a few defensive injuries to contend with. However, our goals against are horrendous. I said in a previous podcast we needed a defensive midfielder to address this, and obviously we've let go Milligan and Bartley. Do we need another one? If so, why doesn't Hecky see that? So I mean, we kind of spoke about that already. So why does Hecky seem to think we're done? Why does he not think we need another defensive midfielder?
My worry is that he's maybe overthinking it a little bit and sees it more as a sort of deep line playmaker, and that we need someone who's good on the ball and who's going to start moves, which is good, and I agree with, and maybe just thinks that we don't need, or there's no room for a sort of midfield destroyer. That's my worry.
And that kind of brings us on to the last question we've got from Stuart Ramsey, which is Hecky out of his league, and is Scottish football too much for him? Maybe not too much for him, but has he maybe not sort of realised that you do need that sort of player in Scottish football?
Possibly, but like you said to me down the stair, we've lost one game this season.
Exactly.
So I think everyone's just feeling a bit emotional now for some reason or another. And didn't get me wrong, I've been there the last week. I've been all over the place when it come with my opinion on it and him as a manager. So just need to get on with it though. Need to stop being as negative. It's probably not going to help if fans are all like on everybody's back and that all the time.
I can understand people are a bit frustrated with the football. It seems to be a bit patient and not as high energy as we're used to under Stubbs and Lennon. So maybe I have to get used to that. But
Lennon, yeah, but I remember a lot of the football under Stubbs was pretty slow. Like
I thought
there's a lot of rewriting the history goes on, I think, with Stubbs. Like, I mean, his
this
team's
is the last appearance on the podcast. He's
No,
talking
like-
badly about Stubbs.
like, guy's an absolute legend, but his team struggled
Yeah.
to break down teams a lot. We hardly hammered anyone under Stubbs in 3 years in the or 2 years in the Championship. So the idea that I didn't think that team was particularly exciting to watch. I mean, they played nice football.
I remember hammering Rangers 4-0 Easter Road.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot that one. But I think that was probably our biggest win in those 2 years.
James is going into room 1902. Enjoy the seagulls, mate.
Well, and then Lennon, right? Lennon's first season, he wasn't. Hibs were pretty crap to watch. I mean, we'd done the job most weeks, but we weren't great to
There's
watch.
quite a few draws in there.
Aye.
Considering that Hearts and Rangers were out the league, we should have really romped it a lot more. But anyway, I mean, great football with especially that second half of the season under Lennon when we had the 5-3-2, the bit that 3-man midfield that we talk about all the time. Flo and McLaren really clicking up top. Some really great football then.
Yeah, and that was one of the most exciting times I remember as a Hibs fan.
And we also had the same team every week, and we knew what the team was going to be. It was going to be Boyle at right wing back, Stevenson at left wing back, the back three, and maybe Gray coming in, and then we had 3 midfield and 2 up top. Everyone knew the team.
And it was before
And then-
Lennon had his blowout, meltdown, whatever it was.
And then he was chopping, changing the team and stuff. And then last season, Heckingbottom, same team every week. Aubameyang was the only one to come in and change it. We went 10 games unbeaten. And then this season, he's changing it every week.
Yeah.
There's maybe something there for consistency.
But the way I see it, though, I mean, I understand people are a wee bit worried about how we're playing and we've not clicked particularly well. But I kind of don't mind that in August. Like, it generally does take a while.
A lot of new signings.
And and the way I see it, we're probably about 3 goals worse off than I would have expected to be at this point. You know, if we'd come away with a 3-1 defeat for Ibrox,
we wouldn't be in this situation now.
Yeah, so
Folk might be a bit impatient about the football and stuff, but there wouldn't be the hecky out chance.
Yeah,
it's one.
I think it was like the bloat of the pride and the harsh reality that we're not Rangers bogey team anymore.
No, and I think that's partly to do with Rangers coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're
you know,
really
they're throwing millions at every year. That it was going
points that you made last week and we lost.
Coming out with things like we're going to sign. I want to be more athletic. I want to be like high pressing. You're putting yourself.
I know.
When you don't do that,
I think I was maybe
pressure.
a bit naive with some of the things he said.
Because we're not stupid. We're all football fans. Used to we're going to play high pressing football. We're going to have more athletic players and that. We're all right, okay. And then we come along, watch, and it's not that. Then you're going to.
And to be honest, I don't think we've ever under Heckingbottom played high press in high energy football. We've always sat quite deep. So yeah, I understand people not seeing what he said they would see.
Yep.
But I don't really care as long as it works. And so far, it generally has worked.
Yeah, that like we said last week, he's kind of been so far then out. It's like par for the course. Nothing extraordinary. Nothing. Well, one thing dreadful.
And Marvin Bartley speaking about him earlier in the week on Sports and saying he's the best tactician he's had as a manager. So maybe if he's good enough for Big Marv, he's good enough for me.
Cool. Well, time will tell.
Aye. You're more on the fence.
Yeah, I'm so on the fence. It's unbelievable. I have moments where I'm like, nope, and then moments I'm like, oh, calm down. Still been an idiot.
Right. So, what you've got planned this week then?
Nothing.
No?
Nothing exciting. No. Looking forward to the Hibs game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Get back to Easter Road.
What about yourself, Dave?
The exact same. Work, football. Already planned our pre-match pints on Saturday. So,
where are you going?
Probably go behind the goals. First 50 folk in, get a pie or something.
So we'll aim for that.
I like pies. I want a free one.
And we'll try and get a table as well.
Get a table. Get a wee table.
There was a thing going about on Twitter this week about comparing English and Scottish football. And it was the food, and it had some menu from a ground, and it was like lobster ravioli or something. And then I had a picture of the Alloa, a pie roll.
Aye.
Brilliant. I mean, I'd say the brilliant thing I seen after the Spurs Aston Villa game, first game of the season, it was like 7:15, and it was packed. The game.
I saw that. They do drinks afterwards.
Aye, bad example because I think the game finished before that, but after that. But you know what I mean. The game had been finished for like an hour, and it was still packed because everyone was there having pints and chilling out and chatting and talking about the game stuff.
Aye, well, look, because White Hart Lane's hard to get away from as well. I've been to a couple of games there, and you stand for about an hour and a half in the queue at the train station, so you're as well standing in the ground having a pint.
Why not? And that's clubs making money. Everyone's enjoying a good atmosphere, talking about the football, enjoying being there, encouraged to come back. Aye, I'm maybe the licensing law is a future thing for Room 1902.
Behind the goals is shite as well, or it used to be.
It's getting better. Like, because I have to say, I went in the St Mirren game and
is it still plastic cups?
No. Glasses now. Right. The Hibernian ale's really nice. They had the guy playing at the back playing the guitar. It's been done up a bit. Obviously, the last season it was done up a bit. They had Pat Stanton in talking. They're making an effort to kind of improve it, which is good.
They've got the football on, but I think the best thing for is the fact that see if you get in early enough and you get a table, and you have a table he's just all sitting pints in that thing, but Ryan queues are sometimes absolutely mental.
That's more about that from 2 o'clock onwards.
Yeah, but football's on. Aye, it's good.
Yeah,
we used to go to the office though.
What's the early game this week?
I don't know. I didn't really like English football.
Is there no Scottish game early kick off now?
Don't know.
Aye, we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Bye. So thanks for coming along, guys.
Thanks for having me. And
if you've enjoyed this, make sure you do the usual bits, subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Follow the podcast wherever you get it. And
I think we should have a Twitter poll about the Room 1902.
Well, I can put in a Twitter poll, but it doesn't matter. I'm the host. I've already put it in there. I mean, you can
I
see.
feel I need some validation here that I'm not just some angry old misanthrope.
We'll put out a poll to see if other people agree with you, but I get the final say. I'm the boss here.
Right. Okay, no, that's fine.
This ain't no democracy.
And don't forget it. Right, thanks for listening, folks, and we'll be back next Monday.